volumes. I am from the Raven clan of the Haida people. Because I grew up kind of close to the Downtown Eastside, I would go there with like my grandma because she would go to the library. You usually have a lot of Vancouverites who tell people, new people especially, just not to really go there. If you're Vancouverite, you know that that area is just the place you don't really hang out at because it's where all the drug users are, it's where addicts are. They have this perception of people like that with mental illness and addiction as these people you should never ever like interact with. They're monsters, and it really frustrates me because they're people. They have lives. They just end up taking a different path and end up being kind of a shitty path for them. I've definitely met people who've come from like other countries or even just from other parts of Canada. Like, Vancouver's great, and I'm just like, yes, but here are all the not so great things about Vancouver. You don't just automatically belong to somewhere, at least for me. It's not something that's just like, oh, this is where I need to be. Usually it's sort of a build-up, and you have to work at it, just like with anything really. I tend to be really critical about myself and whether or not I'm First Nations enough, because I have lighter skin and lighter hair, and especially my artwork, because they both tie in with each other about me being First Nations. Because I also do Native design work, so I have to have a really conscious mind about that and what it means to be First Nations and what is Native art. It's an ongoing battle that I guess society has, what they project onto First Nations and the stereotypes they have of First Nations people. First Nations as a whole in Vancouver tend to be looked at as like the stereotypes, the bad stereotypes. I don't think there's really any good stereotypes of any race. It's like, you know, they do drugs, they're alcoholics. Then there's also just a complete ignorance of Vancouver's history of First Nations people. I've had people who didn't even know what residential schools were, or that Native women actually couldn't vote until the 1960s. People see this like, oh, I did not know this. It's sort of like a good feeling to have to like educate people about this, but it also makes me realize how much more work this is going to be. And that it's not something I'm gonna stop doing. Yeah, I have a lot of health issues, and they can affect me a lot sometimes. It comes in waves. I was diagnosed with lupus at the age of 13, so I've had it for 9 years. Lupus is basically a chronic illness that affects the immune system. So one of the side effects of lupus is arthritis, which is what I have. Arthritis in my hands, my feet, knees, and pretty much most of my joints in my body. Most people can't fully understand what I'm going through. That can really impact how I make close friends, because I don't know if they'll be accepting of that. You know, I worry if my friends still like me, or if I'm too much of a burden for them because of my chronic illness and my disability. I also had a liver transplant recently in January, and that completely like turned over my world. It also made me realize how much my friends really care about me and how much they accept me for who I am. I definitely belong in the groups of friends that I have, people who were once strangers, who then I started to form a relationship with, actually accept me, and like family even sometimes. There's people that there's friends that I see as family. I volunteer at the Ignite Youth Panel, and it's part of the youth programs at the Culture. I volunteer because I like to help, like to, you know, make the world a better place. little things like just volunteering and keeping the arts alive and seeing people's smiles and laughs and working together even though they could be completely different people is a big motivation for me. That's one of the ways I actually feel more connected to Vancouver and to the city and the people, simply by volunteering, giving my own free time. One of my dreams is to become a technical director of a theater. I'm super passionate about behind the scenes stuff, and besides that, I want to be able to be a professional artist and just share it with the world, with what I do, showcase the political views and my thoughts on the world around